Let's go. Come on. Yeah.
Let's go! Let's go!
Well done.
Yes!
To be honest, I don't really remember most of the meet, but I remember walking off that platform after my final deadlift and seeing the smile on my coach's face. And I don't know if it's, but for some reason, I felt way happier when I saw how happy he was rather than when I put the weight down and finished my lift. I'm just very grateful that I got to experience such a competition because it's very different working out in the gym every single day. You know, you've got like old people coming in, you've got young people coming in, but no one's really that serious about lifting. But when you go into a competition like this, you've got your coach who's been training for fucking years, you've got like your parents, everybody else's parents, you've got like 40 other people who have just dedicated themselves, dedicated months of their lives to achieve something like this. You're all put into this fucking group, and for the next 6 hours, you're doing your absolute best to achieve something. And so I'm very grateful that I got to experience that. And I'm very grateful for everybody else there, whether that was my like parents showing up or my coach being there for me on the day, but also just like the months of training that we did as well. It was a very sick experience. I wasn't really nervous for most of the event, but I still had like these spikes of anxiety or just these questions in the back of my mind of like, can I actually do this shit? So I think my coach picked me up around about 7 a.m. And so from like 7 to about 8, we drove until we got to the gym. At the gym, you know, everything's set up. It's all like a blacked out fucking gym, so it's sick. Compared to like the gym that I'm used to, this is like completely different. There's people there, we're talking with some of the people, we're just like just fucking yapping about bullshit, right? But as time goes on, eventually we start doing our rack heights. So you go onto the platform, you see how high the squat bar needs to be or how high the bench needs to be. Everybody does their shit. Eventually you start getting weighed in. The girls start warming up. The next group starts warming up. And then it's your turn to warm up before you go on stage. And so as all of this is happening, there's this big kind of like, you're torn between trying to lock in and trying to enjoy the experience at hand. And at least for me, as everything's starting to build up, in my mind, I'm starting to get these things of like, it's about to be time to perform, right? Like, you've trained so hard for this, you better fucking lock in before you go on stage. But I've also got this big feeling of like, there's 40 other people here. This is a great opportunity to go, you know, meet someone, go fucking be social. Don't be like this little gremlin who sits in the corner by himself. And so I think, for me at least, I had to really shut that out. And I took comfort in the fact that I was prioritizing a different goal. So I had these like, I had these two torn goals between me, being social and then obviously performing at 100%. The fact that all the anxiety was building up, maybe not anxiety, but you know, it's like some of this nervousness was building up. I think I took more comfort in just ignoring the social stuff, just trying to turn my brain off and just focusing on the one goal, which was lock the fuck in, do your music, do your warm-ups, do whatever the fuck you have to. Don't worry about trying to be social or trying to talk to anybody. Just sit in the corner like a little gremlin by yourself and prepare to perform at 100%. I think I'm quite glad I chose to be like hyper-focused rather than splitting my attention over like talking to other people, seeing how my coach was doing, going to talk to my parents. And instead I literally just like sat in the corner by myself, just got my earphones in, drinking my fucking Lucozade, eating my Skittles, because you know, you gotta keep your carbs up, and just focusing on myself for that day. I think I went into it without any guilt. As soon as I made the decision to be like, fuck all of these people, like as much as I'd like to talk to them, I'm just gonna ignore them and focus on myself. I think it paid off, because at least for this event, I managed to go 9 out of 9 lifts, so I didn't like fuck up any of my lifts, all of my lifts were good, and I got 27 out of 27 white lights. So I did all of my lifts, and I basically performed them perfectly. And sure, maybe there is a universe in which I was super social, talking to everybody, you know, not sitting by myself and also doing perfectly. But I think when it's your first time performing on such a stage with such high stakes, then absolutely just focus on yourself, ignore everybody else, and make sure that you are at 100%. And I think I'm very happy with how I did. We came in and we did like a 150 squat for the opener. So that was the first one. Then it was 162.5. And then I ended on the 170. I don't remember much of the lead up to that. Like, I don't even remember the 162 kg squat, just because I was so locked in. Like, I had my music in, I was drinking my food, drinking my drink. My coach was just telling me what to do. Like, I put myself in his hands. And all I really remember is the walk onto the stage, staring the referee at his face, breathing in, and then walking off. Like, I don't even remember doing the actual lift. And I think that's like the ultimate flow state that you can get yourself into, where you've shut everything else out. You're only focused on performing at your 100% best, and you kind of like let your subconscious just take over and just push as hard as you fucking can. Now, after I did all my lifts, of course, then I started to open up a little bit more, started talking more with people, with the volunteers that were standing, the people in the green shirts that were standing behind me, you know, telling them like, thank you for being there for my lift, for hyping me up on the deadlift and shit. But that's only after the priority has been done, right? So you focus on yourself, you perform at 100%, do whatever you fucking need to make sure you're locked in, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want. Then you can be social, you can lay back, you can be chill, do whatever. But I think that type of focus is what really pushed me to achieve everything that I wanted on the day. I'm very happy with that. And I think another big thing that it helped me do is just gain more self-respect for myself. So I'm not saying I lacked self-respect, but when you're going to a gym, or when you're just like working on yourself, when you don't really have much to show for yourself, no big kind of event, then it's really hard to measure how much progress you're making. Like, imagine this, you're just going to the gym every single day. You kind of see your physique change, you kind of see that you're getting strong, but there's nothing big to be like, there's just no big event where you can look at and be like, yeah, I fucking did that big thing, right? And so when you go to an event like this, whether it's like a kickboxing fight or whether it's a powerlifting meet, it kind of clicks in your mind and you're like, fuck, like all of this effort, all these months of training, everything's led up to this, and I finally achieved this. And that just, it's like a milestone in your self-respect where it's like a rite of passage, right? Like, you've gone through all this tough shit that you've had to go through, and now you're on the other side of it. You can finally like respect yourself even more. And maybe that boosts your ego a little bit, or maybe that just makes you feel like you're better than everybody else. But I still think that's a good thing. I remember when we were driving on our way to the gym, I was in my coach's car, and obviously one of the things we talked about was my expectations and my opening lifts for the day. So a few months back, I had messaged him and I told him that I wanted a 180 kg squat, a 130 bench, and a 220 deadlift, which is very ambitious to say the least, right? Like, those are fucking crazy numbers for somebody who's never competed in their life. And a lot of our conversation was really about, I mean, we talked about this before as well, but in that car, a lot of what we talked about was like, I have no experience in competition lifts. Like, I have no fucking idea. Like, I'm only basing my expectations, my wants for all these high numbers based on my ego. I've never done any of these fucking numbers in my life. The most I've ever deadlifted at that point was like 170. And I'm telling him that I want like 220 on this fucking day. Like, it's completely retarded. And so the important thing that I think the important mindset shift, or whatever you want to call it, is just accepting that he knows better. He's done this multiple times. He's got a fucking 290 squat or some shit. Just turn your expectations off. Don't look at the numbers as the goal, and focus instead on being there 100%. Lock the fuck in and make that the goal. Make the goal performing at your 100% best. Put yourself in somebody else's hands, in somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing. And in my case, it's like, just trust your coach. Get somebody who knows the path that you need to take, somebody who's done the shit that you've been through, and just follow them as they guide you. The only thing that I really focused on that day was just listening to what he said, and performing at my 100% best. So of course, the preparation that we did, the mindset, the locking in, the fucking music ritual, whatever you want to call it, all of that stemmed from me trusting the process, trusting his instincts, and me focusing on myself. I think if you put those two together, having high confidence in the plan and then having like high confidence in yourself, or just being present, being there for yourself, then I think that's why I did well. So I'm very happy that I did that. And if you could ever have this opportunity to do something similar, maybe with a coach or without a coach, or just finding somebody who can guide you along as well, whether it is with like a kickboxing event or with a powerlifting event, then I think that'll be fucking awesome for you as well. Whenever I go through these big types of events, so for me it was the first kickboxing fight at 18, then it was making my first dollar online, then it was like my first 2K online, and then maybe when I hit like I think maybe when I was in Poland and I hit a decent like body fat number, I think that was like another big thing. But then now, like the big powerlifting meet, like this is the biggest event so far. Those always bring me another step forward into being the man that I respect, like being somebody where I can look myself in the mirror and think like, yeah, like I worked hard and I achieved something, and I like myself for that. Like it's very hard to get these negative thoughts for yourself. It's very hard to like hate yourself when you're just performing at your very best and you're achieving things that you want to. And so, like for a lot of my life, before I did all this shit, I didn't really like myself. And it was mostly just because I was lazy, or I didn't do my schoolwork, or I just wasn't really focused on anything at the time. So I was just wasting my time in front of video games. And at that point, obviously I wasn't doing anything in my life. There was nothing I was pursuing. There was no milestones which I could look at in my life and be like, yeah, I did that. I was just sat at home rotting in my bed. So I think to an extent, a lot of these events are very performative, and they're performative in the fact that you are showcasing, like you're virtue signaling that you're a better person. When I did my kickboxing fight, I proved to myself that I could work on something and then succeed. When I earned my first money online, that proved to myself that what I was doing was working. And every time you prove to yourself that what you're doing is working, or that your hard work is paying off, or that you've just like come a long way, then you start to get less of these negative thoughts in your brain, and you can finally just respect yourself. I think realistically, that's the only thing that we really want. If you can respect yourself, and if you can get to a position where you don't think about these negative things in your life, and you can just focus on moving forward, achieving your goals, then I think you're in a really good position. Realistically, I feel like you already know what you need to do. A lot of the guys that come into my Discord and they ask me these questions about, not being in a rut or just working harder, they always know what the fuck they need to do. It's just that they don't have any motivation to do it, or they feel like they don't have motivation, right? And so all these young guys, they want to respect themselves, they want to achieve something, they want to be better, but they just don't do that thing. And I feel like when I was in those situations, when I didn't know what to do, I was always very lucky in my life, because I always got coaches or mentors or just like friends who helped me out and told me what to do. And so if you're somebody who's still rotting away, somebody who just doesn't know what to do with their life, is stuck in a rut, and doesn't have anybody that can help them, then join the Discord, man. Just fucking join the Discord and I'll help you out. I got lucky with my kickboxing coach, with my business mentors, and with my powerlifting coach, because I just randomly met them. And so if you need help with your own self-improvement, or just like shit like going to the gym, or being more productive, or just playing less video games, then join the Discord and I'll fucking help you out, because clearly nobody else wants to help you. So really, like from the bottom of my heart, fucking join, and let's just get you out of this fucking rut and get you moving. And if you're not in a rut, if you're somebody who's already fucking doing well, just join anyway and just help out whoever you want in the Discord as well. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful, and hopefully you can get inspired to do a similar powerlifting meet or kickboxing, or just any kind of like rite of passage event, and just be more proud of yourself. Goodbye.